you are listening to
the WrestleGeddon podcast.
the WrestleGeddon podcast.
What's up, wrestling fans? It is another Friday night, and we are live and in color coming to you on Facebook.com/WrestleGeddonPod and over on our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/ForTheCollection. Of course, I am Chris the Heat Matthews, and he is the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Crossland. Carl, how's it going, man?
It's going all right, man. Just got back from the beach.
Come back from the beach.
Yeah. Was down there doing some work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was cold, but yeah.
Yeah. That'll do it. Even with like 50-degree temperatures. I had almost 60 today, I think.
Well, I was driving back today, so it don't count.
And dropping back down to the 20s in the next week. So.
Yeah.
Super thrilled about that one.
Yeah, they took at one point there were some people saying that, we might get like 2 feet of snow or something, but then they took it off out of the forecast.
Yeah. I know that we got that massive like cold front that's coming down from the north next week. So
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that one. Better not interfere with my Saturday night plans again.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. All right. We had a great wrestling week again. I think we're say it all the time. We're in a solid boom period for wrestling right now. We'll get into that a little bit later. But of course, first up, we've got the random band entrance theme, baby. Ooh.
I'm gonna have myself.
Well, who the hell put this on so random?
For fuck's sake!
For fuck's sake, it's Creed. Creed is the random band entrance theme for the week. We talked a little bit about this last week. Oh, I lost Carl. Well, while we're waiting for Carl to come back on, we talked about this a little bit last week. Used to be a Creed fan. I liked some of Creed's music back in the day. Some pretty good songs, especially off that I guess their major debut album, which was I think Human Clay was that one that had Higher and a whole bunch of other stuff on there. But that was one of my go-tos. I listened to that album quite a bit when it came out. Carl's back.
I'm back. Chris kicked me off the podcast.
Kicked him off and fired him.
Yeah. I'm getting banned with TikTok.
Carl's a Chinese spy. Stealing all the WrestleGeddon information and sending it to China.
Yeah. I'm a threat to national security.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. All right. You go ahead and go first this week.
Can we go first?
Yeah.
So they have like a lot of good songs that would be good for entrance music. But there's one song of theirs that I heard in a movie theater. And that would be the What If from the Scream 3 soundtrack. That's the year.
That is the one. As soon as you said Creed, I was like, I got my pick already.
I just remember on the movie theater surround sound, like that shit sound like pretty good.
I did have a backup though. I did pick a backup just in case, because I know how much we both like horror movies, and that one was. We like the Scream movies, so I figured There's a chance that you might pick that one. So my backup was Poland.
Oh, okay. That's another one I started to go with too. But like when I was listening to it, it's like seemed like everything I pulled up, like I was like, this was either like a pay-per-view theme song or like a vignette or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we were talking before we went live. My Sacrifice was used quite a bit.
Yeah.
When that song came out. So, quite a few video packages. I think there were some for like I think they used it for a pay-per-view package. I think they used it for Jeff Hardy. Quite a few different ones there. So awesome. Creed for this week. All right, what we got for next week?
Next week is hold on. I had it pulled up. It was like an older Bill Withers.
Okay. I am not familiar with Bill Withers.
He's ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I never knew who sang that song. So I know the songs. Never knew who sang it. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's the only song I know. So definitely have to look into.
Oh, definitely.
He might have some more stuff that I just don't know is him, but that's what I know him for.
Nice. All right. So Bill Withers for next week. Jacob Fatu just went off on the mic. Like Solo was about to do an interview and they booed the shit out of Solo and he walked out. And then Jacob Fatu picked up the mic and just started going to town. Talking about how y'all thought I was crazy. Y'all thought I was out my mind. Acting like I didn't get mine. Like, shoo. Now LA Knight's taking down both. Just hit the ring trying to take out Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, but it didn't work very well. All right. No better time than now. Let's get into the instant replay. Scheduled for one fall. All right. For those of you that are not familiar, the instant replay is basically where we just go through and talk about the week in wrestling, give our thoughts on some of the news articles and some of the bigger angles and stuff that have been going on within the last week or so. So yeah, let's get into it. We got some news to kick it off here. We're gonna start off with the big one. WWE and TNA agreeing to a multi-year partnership, an extended partnership off of what they had prior.
I'm down for it. It's always refreshing to see some of the TNA people pop up, or Royal Rumble and NXT. It's been pretty good.
We had Masha Slamovich on NXT this week. So she's the current Knockouts champion. We were very high praise when they did this. When they first started doing this a few months ago, going into a lot of those pay-per-view events and stuff, where we got the return of the Rascals, and we got that great story with Wes Lee, and Nash Carter, like all that stuff, and it was just a great storyline between the two of them. We got a lot of stuff with Jordan Grace showing up, open challenges on TNA with NXT talent showing up on TNA, challenging Jordan Grace, like Tatum Paxley and a few other ones. We got awesome tag team of Rosemary and Wendy Chu that I thought was pretty great. Although it didn't last long, we did get a quick little feud between the two of them. A lot of cool stuff going on, and hopefully we see a little bit more of that this time around with guys like Josh Alexander, hopefully, you know, we can get Moose involved in some stuff with this. Maybe you got the Hardys under contract with TNA. Maybe they show up on an NXT show or something, or shit. Maybe they're in the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that we can see during this multi-year partnership, the Hardys and a WWE ring again in 2025. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of people talking shit to some of the wrestlers, especially the TNA talent. You know how the internet wrestling community is. They think they're big keyboard warriors. You know, especially some other guys like Trey Miguel, who did have an opportunity to go to TNA, or not TNA, but to sign with NXT, but opted to stay with TNA. You know, it's pure. The speculation was that he had some personal problems going on. He couldn't, you know, didn't want to take that leap to NXT and, you know, work that schedule while trying to deal with the stuff that was going on in his personal life. I don't know. That's just what the rumor was, but it just wasn't the time for him, I guess. But him expressing his excitement over the partnership and being able to, you know, step foot in a, you know, WWE owned ring again. And people were just coming down on him like you weren't good enough to get signed to WWE, but you're excited that you're going in there under TNA.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I don't know, people with nothing better to do than to complain about something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, uh, I'm one of those people that like I'll always be a fan of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you need promoters and you need people at the bottom of the card, just like you need people at the top of the card. You need people all over. Now, like I will say when people are bad and stuff like that, but um, you know,
Yeah, you don't hold back when it comes to Nia Jax.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he'll always be a better wrestler than Nia Jax. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where people are just always looking for something to show shade.
Pretty much.
And there's people on the TNA roster that was in WWE at one time and, you know, didn't quite hack it, but also it's also learning opportunities. I remember, you know, Bobby Lashley and Drew Gallows and Christian Cage. There's people that's gone to TNA and made a name for themselves when they came back better superstars in WWE for it, you know.
One of the biggest examples of that is R-Truth.
R-Truth, yeah.
And he became the first African American NWA champion, first recognized black NWA champion during his stint in TNA, of course, when they were partnered with NWA. So, I mean, you know, and look at him now. Like, everyone loves R-Truth. Like, there's no denying, you know, R-Truth's appeal across the masses for wrestling. And I don't think I've ever come across anybody, any wrestling fan, that has ever had anything negative to say about R-Truth.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. Like, yeah, is he at the top of the card? No. Is he, you know, mid card? Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Like everyone has a place in the wrestling business on the card. Could R-Truth be a main eventer? I'm sure. I mean, he main evented, you know, a couple pay-per-views when he was tagging with the Miz, and they took on, was it The Rock and Cena?
Yeah.
Like there's spots that R-Truth can fit in. I mean, not just being, you know, a 54-time 24/7 I-95 South 7-Eleven champion.
Champion of the world.
But I mean, like you said, everyone has a spot on the card. But this partnership with TNA, like we said before, you look at where WWE is at right now, as far as their TV deals and stuff like that. Specifically, you know, a lot of this partnership is going to be with NXT. NXT's on the CW. The CW is not a premium cable channel. That's on your basic cable package, and it's also broadcasted over the air on the through antenna. So even people that aren't paying for cable still have access to watch wrestling. So you bring these TNA guys in, and they get more exposure to a wider audience with NXT being on the CW, and I think that's fantastic. So,
Yeah.
So everyone deserves to see, because we know how great some of these talents are, like Josh Alexander and Moose and Jordan Grace and Trey Miguel, like all these people that they have on that roster, and giving them that national spotlight on the CW on NXT is just going to help. Like they may come across it on they may say, "Oh, I got some TNA. Oh, that's cool." And then they'll show up at one of their local wrestling promotions, like, "Oh, I saw that guy on NXT a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to go to this show now." So it's awesome. Super psyched about it. We did mention the Hardys. Jeff Hardy did an interview, I believe it was with Chris Van Vliet, if I remember correctly. Jeff Hardy actually said if he minded his P's and Q's a little bit more during his younger days in his wrestling career, that he potentially could have been bigger than John Cena, if not as big as John Cena. Thoughts?
I mean, right now, like if you ask me on a personal level, like he's a better wrestler than John Cena. You know what I mean? Like I remember more Jeff Hardy matches than I do John Cena matches. You know, and some of that was tag team work. But yeah, uh RVD and Jeff Hardy kind of both I think had potential to be bigger than Cena. It's just uh both kind of had stuff get in their way uh um before that happened. And then when the PG era happened, it kind of definitely, eliminated them from contention. And that's when we seen them move on to other promotions and stuff. But
Yeah.
even in the other promotions, they were still putting on great matches. There's stuff that happens.
Yep. I'm thinking, I kind of agree with Jeff on that a little bit. I think if he was able to keep himself, or keep his demons controlled, so to say, just the popularity he had in WWE, which remains today. Like, don't get me wrong, the Hardys are like rock stars, and if they show up, in a WWE ring, or one of them shows up in the Rumble, that place is gonna go ape shit. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one it is, Matt or Jeff. I mean, the pop's gonna be bigger for Jeff because it always is.
I mean, Jeff was big. Like, you can admit that Jeff was bigger, and
Jeff definitely was pushed as a bigger star than that.
it's like Jay and Jimmy. Like, Jay is bigger. You know what I mean? Like, he just is right now.
It's the charisma. Like, Jeff has more charisma than Matt does. And it's the same way. Jay has more charisma than Jimmy.
Yeah.
But like, I think if Jeff was able to keep his demons at bay, and overcome all that battle that he had with substance abuse and all that other stuff, I think he never would have got let go he never would have got fired from WWE for the wellness policy violations. And I think we would see him as a WWE champion in the double digits. Because because you look at WWE, like it's merch sales and then crowd response and stuff like that. And the Hardys sell merch. Jeff sells merch.
And then even when he went to TNA, if he would have gotten his shit straight then, like I'm pretty sure they would have had him straight back. You know what I mean? Because he was doing wonders there too until he kind of fucked it up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he could have been as big as Cena. I don't think bigger than Cena. Because once Cena got over, because Jeff was still in WWE when Cena was there.
Yeah, he was there for
like Cena's
a little bit. The beginning of it, but it's kind of like the Rob Van Dam thing. Rob Van Dam was kind of up there too, and Jeff and RVD kind of had more of like a badass, you know what I mean? Like, fans of that era were still fans of like The Rock and Stone Cold, and that's what made them popular because they were badasses. Like, both Rock and Stone Cold got popular by first being heels, but being such badass heels that the crowd loved them. And John Cena kind of had the same thing, right? He was like this heel guy that came out and battle rap people, and people kind of started following him. But then, as soon as he got popular, he went straight like PG, changed the name of his moves, and stopped cussing and stuff as much, and was like this family friendly dude. And then he kind of had the incident at the ECW One Night Stand with Rob Van Dam, where they throw his shirt back. And I think, awesome. I'm saying, like, if Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy at that time, if they would have had their shit together, right, and didn't have, the stuff they got in trouble for, they would initially get that push, so you don't have to re-push Cena if he doesn't have a title. You know what I mean? Like if Jeff Hardy or Rob Van Dam has the titles, Cena doesn't keep it. You know what I mean? Like the only reason why Cena got that early initial push as much as he did was because he was the only guy that they could put the title on, besides Randy Orton. That, you know what I mean? So that's, I don't know, that to me, and they were moving the Rob Van Dam and the Jeff Hardy merchandise was moving. People were painting their face. It was good. So yeah, they could have been bigger or as big as Cena, if they didn't get in trouble, both when they're in their title runs.
Absolutely. And I think RVD, when he won the WWE title, I think he was supposed to have a pretty decent run with that and a decent feud with Cena for that title. But they ended up, obviously him and Sabu got pulled over and, got busted for, marijuana, which I think the state they got busted in is legal now. But, besides the point. But yeah, I mean, at that time frame, it's like, all right, that's a no-no. We're going to have to punish you. And the punishment was losing that title and then you're getting pushed back down the card. So, sucks, but that's fortunately the way the wrestling world works. Oh, awesome stuff there. All right. So those are pretty much the two big tidbits I had for news this week. I don't think there was anything else.
Yeah, not that I saw that was like big news. I'm trying to remember if there's like any headlines I saw. Paul Heyman was on Impulsive.
I saw that, and I said to Logan Paul, "What's hanging, or how's it hanging?"
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the only clip I saw from it.
I I saw like the first little bit of it, but I fell asleep and hadn't gone back to look at it.
Sunny apparently was looking for a decrease in her prison sentence, but that has been denied.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of rightfully so.
Yeah.
You can't kill somebody, and especially if it wasn't like if it was like your first mistake, then you may have a case of like trying to convince somebody of something, but you can't have like a pattern of doing stupid shit and then, do something really stupid and then expect
Yeah.
people to forgive. I also saw something too. I don't know if that was like old news or what, but it was like somebody saying that like apparently she had offered JR after his wife died to come live with him and like cook food and stuff for him and something like that, and he declined the offer or something. I don't know. I saw
Yeah.
like tabloid type stuff with that.
Oh, awesome stuff. All right, let's get into Monday Night Raw. Our second week on Netflix. Back to our normal episodic edition of Raw, advancing storylines and all that fun
I actually
stuff.
watched it today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it Monday, but playoff football. So I was like, oh, I gotta watch playoff football, and I'll catch it Tuesday night, and then Tuesday I end up going to Myrtle Beach, and I don't know any of my passwords or didn't tell none of my subscriptions, so I had to watch it when I got back.
Trying to see what the
Even though Chris tried to spoil it for me.
17. What was Monday? It was the
Like the 13th or something like that, or
13th.
15th. So.
13th.
Yeah,
my son's birthday was Tuesday.
it opened with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, which got me excited for the Rumble. It's been a while since you've had this many contenders
Yeah.
in the Rumble, unless Roman or somebody wins the title beforehand. But because you think you got Roman Reigns, you got CM Punk, you got Seth Rollins, you got Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, all these people that could possibly, and then you got people that you would be pissed off.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
If they won. So view wise for Netflix, Raw pulled in 5.9 million views. I think was that down from the previous week?
Oh yeah, definitely down, but still
pretty high up.
Still competing with playoff football. It's kind of hard because you can't rewatch playoff football. You can rewatch Raw.
That is true.
So if that's the live numbers, that's pretty good.
Top 10 show in 26 countries this week, including the U.S. So it's still rolling strong for Monday Night Raw. So let's see. Hopefully they keep that rolling. We kicked off the show. It was you're talking about Punk, Seth, and Drew. Punk basically comes out, after last week, I'm done with Rollins. That's an afterthought. My next step is Royal Rumble. Rollins comes out and says, I'm not done with you. Drew McIntyre comes out and says, I ain't done with either of you.
So actually, he said he was done. Technically, he said he was done with both of them because he was trying to keep Roman from winning another title for the locker room. Yeah.
Well,
Which is interesting. So it's like at some point are we gonna get a Roman Drew match or something?
because I think right
Yeah.
now they're doing this. You know, they have the whole transfer window thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to see a lot of people bounce back and forth until like they settle on
Decide.
a positional match. Especially because it's all build up to the Royal Rumble for one, and then
To me,
go
it's
from that to
better.
the Chamber to Mania.
I hate the fucking roster split. Like to me, it's better when you can interact with each other on different shows.
Yeah, for one, I like the roster split because they have a lot of talent, and especially with like your mid card guys, it's kind of hard to showcase all these talent across two shows when you're trying to push like certain people. So that does give them the opportunity to showcase more talent across the two brands or three brands or whatever. That's just my take on it. But obviously, like your bigger name guys are always going to bounce back and forth, regardless if there's a roster split or not, especially depending on the time of the year. Between Royal Rumble, going from Royal Rumble to Mania, we're going to see, I'm sure we'll see quite a bit of that as well. What was I going to say? Yeah, Mysterio was on SmackDown tonight, because they're in San Diego. So Ray was live on SmackDown. Obviously, we had Bailey on Raw. Watching the
Raw
finals. Yeah, Nia Jax showed up on Raw. But the first match of the night, Monday Night Raw, we got the debut of Penta taking on Chad Gable, which I'm going to say it. I called it and said that match was going to be a hell of a match. And it was.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than seeing Penta debut in a tag team match. Dude deserves to shine.
Yeah. To me, and I know people were saying like, "Oh, he got screwed out of the being on the first episode," but to me, I would much rather him debut the way he debuted than having him in a match with Rey Mysterio. Because it seems to me that's like, I don't know, it seems like something like Vince would do. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, Luchador, we're just gonna book him with Rey Mysterio. And then maybe have him and Rey Mysterio have a feud right off the bat. And it's like, no, let's just let him come in, have a match with a quality opponent, and showcase what he can do.
Absolutely.
And it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. Crowd was really into it.
Yep.
My son was over here and down. He's like, man, he must really suck. They keep chanting, he sucked. And but yeah, it was good, man. I'm glad he had the debut he did. Having him speak afterwards was really great.
Absolutely.
The way they handled it, I thought was pretty good. I'm glad Vince ain't there because if Vince would have been there, he came in as like Hexagon or something. He would have been Hexagon.
Hexagon.
Hexagon that's never wrestled before. This is his first time in a ring.
Been sent to NXT. He'd have been on NXT. So.
But they mentioned Triple A and Lucha Underground. Yeah, so it was refreshing. You know what I mean? Like we're in a new era where you can come in as a established person, and the crowd knew who he was. There's people with Penta mask.
We did talk about that last week. We didn't talk about that last week.
Michael Cole.
No, how
was
the merch went up.
Worst kept secret.
Oh, the worst kept secret in wrestling. It's up there with the Cody Rhodes thing. So I think that was like by far the worst kept secret in wrestling. Cody showed up at Mania. But yeah, even up to his debut, WWE put up added a whole bunch of Penta merch to the shop. And I know you sent that a screenshot that the caption was, WWE doing more in 3 weeks than AEW did in 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, technically he was supposed to debut on Monday, so it would have been up after his debut. But because they pushed the debut to second week, it was out a week before. So, whoever was supposed to send out the memo, I guess didn't send out the memo. But there's people there with Penta merch, so then it was better for the debut. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I was just gonna say, like, whoever, if that wasn't intentional for that to happen, I guarantee you a bunch of people were buying Penta shirts after that show, or masks or whatever. So even if they were selling them at the show, I'm sure people were.
I mean, there's a lot of people that seemed like they knew him. You know what I mean? Like,
in that area, because you're looking, because that California area, Penta's from Mexico. He went through Mexico, through California, built his name up through there with the Lucha Libre and stuff, with Lucha Libre, I think AAA. And then, of course, Lucha Underground was filmed in California. And then, look at AEW, stuff like that. And then TNA. Like, he has a decent name and a decent following behind him. And if they present him like they present Rey Mysterio, then he's going to be a superstar. So that's just how it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that was what was good about it, because, like, generally they bring somebody that, everybody acts like they don't know who they are, but it seems like, everybody knew who he was and was excited to see him in his debut.
And that's the big difference if you're looking at this, like, era-wise. Like you said, Vince, during the Vince era, if he would have debuted, they would have called him Hexagon, and nobody would have known who he was, or they wouldn't have mentioned any of his previous work. And then you look at it now with Triple H in charge, it's like, hey, this dude wrestled for TNA. This dude was, Lucha Underground champion. He was a champion in TNA, multi-time tag team champion, like all this stuff, throughout Mexico and US and throughout the world. Like one of the best luchadors in the world, second to only Rey Mysterio. So I wouldn't go that far either.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But I think the presentation was great, and that's what WWE is. It's presentation. If they present you like a superstar, 9 times out of 10, you will get the reaction that you should get from the fans as a superstar. And that's how you'll be treated and how it'll come off. Unless you're Rocky Maivia.
I like how he did the little La Parka
La Parka strut. His ring gear was La Parka themed. So the white, the black, and the red. So I thought that was awesome. Oh
yeah.
And I was hoping we were gonna get the Cerro Miedo into Gable's face, and they got that. I was like, yes. The only thing I was missing was like when he does the glove thing. He takes the glove off and does it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good debut, and I hope they don't screw it up or anything. But he has potential to be a big star.
Absolutely. I think it's a good time for WWE to start doing intergender matches, and then we can run back, Penta and Chelsea.
or Sky.
Awesome stuff. So we had that. We had the finals for the first women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria picking up the win on that one. I was 50-50 on this. Like, it seemed like they could go either way with it. But they pulled the trigger on Lyra, giving her first main roster singles title. And a hell of a match between her and Dakota. Like, that was a fantastic matchup.
It was a good match. I just feel like they kind of screwed up with giving Rhea Ripley the title back that close. Because it's like you got so many
Yeah.
new champions like right now. It's like um, no new storyline is going to be kind of believable because the champion should probably win, and unless they're just going to have them be like champion for a month or something.
Yep. I think they should have held off on it till Saturday night's main event, like they did with the U.S. title. Because was that this weekend or next week? I think it's next weekend, isn't it?
Next weekend, yeah.
I mean, that would have given a few weeks in there to kind of build up, stuff between Lyra and Dakota. I mean, wasn't really much of a story anyway. It's a tournament, and that's just
Yeah, man. That's a tournament. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's so many new champions. Like you just have the new, both world champions are new, and then you got both of the mid cards are new. So it's like going into your Saturday Night Main Event or going into Royal Rumble, the champions are not going to lose unless they're just going to have them be, short-lived champions. So there's no kind of believable storyline, if that makes sense, right now for the women's division.
Yeah, that does make sense because you're looking at Rhea Ripley right now. Like, where is she going? Like, what are we doing next with her? Like, is it a rematch with Liv?
It's nothing.
Yeah. Is it Nia? Is it like there really is nothing? Is it Raquel? Like, what are we doing? And then Tiffany. I'm sure we'll have something with Tiffany and with Nia. And I think there was someone else, and Bailey. I think Bailey's in that title picture too. Is Bailey's wrestling Tiffany tonight? Even with the U.S. title, it came down to Meechin and Chelsea. So now we have the story between Meechin and Chelsea going on right now.
Yeah.
So there's not really much of a story for Lyra.
But it's like
with the way that match ended.
But it's like whoever they have the matches again, they're going to retain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, we'll see. We got a few more weeks till Royal Rumble. We got Saturday night's main event. A lot can happen between now and then. Speaking of Saturday night's main event, we're getting Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Jay's not going to win. I'm very surprised if they do pull the trigger, but
I think they pull the trigger.
You think they do?
I think they pull the trigger. You got to.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. Like, I want to be mad. I think Jay's a phenomenal talent. Obviously, he's super over with the crowd, selling merch and all that other stuff. So,
yeah, I think you give it to him because it gives you better options going into Royal Rumble, and then potentially Mania.
Yeah, I can see that because you have someone like Drew McIntyre win the Rumble and go after Jay.
Or CM Punk owes him a favor, comes back to haunt him that they ask him to you know what I mean? There's so much you could do with it. Or, if you could potentially have Seth or Drew win, right? And you have a heel to go after Jay, versus if Gunther is champion going into WrestleMania, he's a heel, so then that only leaves you with like a face, so you need like maybe Punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I figure if Roman wins, he's gonna go after his title with Cody. You know what I mean? Like I don't like. So it's like it gives you better options going in with Jay as champion than Gunther. And then plus it's like, you have the long title runs. It don't make sense to have like two long ass title runs going into WrestleMania either.
That makes sense. Okay. I can see that.
It's unexpected, you know what I mean? But it's something like everybody would be behind if it happened, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like if they do pull the trigger on that and Jay picks up the win, that crowd's gonna freaking blow the roof off of that place. Like there's no doubt about that one. Like they're gonna be yeeting all over Texas. What else we had? There's one thing that I forgot.
I was just saying, if it was me, you know, Triple H, I've been begging them to give me a job. Give me a job, Triple H. Dude, I can do your job better than you can.
Oh, awesome. One thing I forgot to put in the news was the Corey Graves situation with him being moved to NXT.
But the Pat McAfee thing.
Yeah. Well, saying that he's not famous enough to be on the major shows.
Yeah, but I think it's kayfabe.
I think so too.
I think we're gonna get a Corey Graves versus McIntyre. I said McIntyre. Yeah, McIntyre. McAfee. I think they're going to be like a mid card match on like night one of WrestleMania.
Yeah. It sucks for a lot of people that have not been able to see any of Corey Graves' matches, especially in NXT. Graves is a great wrestler. I mean, I got to see a few of his matches before he got that major neck injury, and Graves is he's a good wrestler. Great submission with the last rights. It's just it just sucks that he was put in that position. And honestly, as a commentator, I had no issues with Corey Graves as a commentator. I liked him as a commentator. I thought he was doing an awesome job. He plays off of the other commentators very well. Like especially him and Booker T's back and forth was always entertaining. Like,
he's a good heel commentator. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of more of like that classic like heel, like Jesse Ventura was on Saturday Night Main Event. Like, you need a good like heel guy that is commentator. To me, I like Pat McAfee. He's good. It's just sometimes he's too like I guess like fake over the top pinball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going nuts when Hulk Hogan came out. Like, dude, the crowd's booming. Like, you. Read the room.
I think one of the things I like with McAfee is he'll just say whatever the hell he wants for the most part, and there's no he's not worried about any type of repercussions or anything like that, because it's not like it's the same thing with ESPN. It's like Pat McAfee doesn't need ESPN. ESPN needs Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee doesn't need WWE. WWE needs Pat McAfee. So it's like it's one of those things where like I'm gonna do what I want. You're gonna fire me, okay? Fire me. And then I go back to doing my show, without having to fly back and forth. So, but yeah, I think it is. I think it's a work, and I think we'll end up getting some kind of match out of them, whether it be. I'll probably end up being a night one Mania match.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I forgot to put in there this week. AEW. I don't know if you got a chance to watch any of the AEW this week.
I did.
Awesome. Let's kick it off here. Jeff Jarrett versus MJF. What are your thoughts?
I didn't see that match. I saw.
It wasn't a match. It was just the promo stuff.
I saw the promo. Yeah, the promo stuff. I did see. I like Jarrett. I like MJF. It'd be interesting to see. It's been a while since I've seen Jarrett work as a face, in a face type role. Because MJF kind of, to me, has like some kind of stuff that he kind of modeled after Jeff Jarrett's heel work. So it just be interesting to see the match itself. They're both really good. I'm sure we'll get like a really good wrestling match out of it. Both are good at storytelling in the ring. Uh, so I think it'll be really good.
My biggest nitpick with this is that
Dusty Rhodes face paint.
no, the use of Owen Hart's death into the storyline in this promo, where MJF saying that he's been using his quote unquote best friend's death to further his career.
Yeah, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's one thing that I did not care for in that promo. Like, both these guys are great on the mic. Like, it's just that's something that could have been left out. But that's the thing that triggered Jarrett the most into attacking MJF was the talk of Owen Hart, but not his wife. So
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, he knew Owen Hart before his wife, so
yeah.
It's one of those things though. It's it's if you throw a little bit of truth out there sometimes on stuff, it makes it good. But that Jarrett and all his time wrestling never used it, or I mean maybe the night after did it for Owen or whatever, but he didn't. To me, if you want to say somebody doing that, to me, Rey Mysterio probably used Eddie Guerrero's death more than Jeff Jarrett used Owen Hart's death. Yeah.
I don't know. That line just kind of took me out of that a little bit. And my thing is this, Martha Hart's okay with them using that, but we can't get Owen in the Hall of Fame. So,
well, she's not watching AEW fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
Half of wrestling fans don't watch AEW, so she probably don't know they mention it unless somebody mentions it to her. Which I don't know how many wrestling fans she actually has around her.
I hope at some point, in our lifetime, we see Owen Hart return back to the WWE fold. That's where his legacy is at. Honestly, that's the majority of his fans know Owen Hart from WWE.
Yeah, his fans do. His fans do, but I mean, it's up to his family and his immediate family, his wife nor his kids care anything about wrestling. And rightfully so, it's their decision. And
hey, Victoria's in the crowd. Sorry.
They see wrestling as the what took their dad away from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they see WWE as that too. I mean, with Vince being gone, maybe there is some possibility there, but still, it's I don't ever see it happening.
Yep. And I mean, we got Jesse Ventura back because Vince is gone.
Yeah.
And the same thing. We got the headbangers under Legends deals. We got Victoria. We got Jacqueline. We got Melina signed to Legends deals. This wasn't happening under Vince. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see Bret Hart. I mean, Bret Hart came back with Vince back, but I didn't see Bret Hart coming back. But maybe there is, or Ultimate Warrior. So maybe there is, but those are, like I said, those are going back to guys that are still into wrestling. Wrestling still means a lot to them. Whereas Owen Hart's widow and kids wrestling means nothing to them. Like that's
Yeah.
that's what took their dad away from them. So yeah, I don't see it happening.
And honestly, too, a lot of the guys that were involved in that concussion lawsuit, like the Road Warriors, Demolition, like a lot of those older talents that were under the WWE, like the Legends deals and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them re-sign new deals with WWE this year or even next year, just with the whole like Vince is gone type thing. Because that's the only reason why they weren't allowed back in under those deals is because of that lawsuit. Because like Vince, was a personal attack against Vince, and that's what he felt like.
Well, I mean, the concussion stuff. You gotta remember the WWE is owned by UFC. Like I think they'll still kind of stay away from the concussion stuff too. So possible that we can get them back, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, like I said, never say never. If there's money to be made off these guys' names and stuff like that, then back at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I could see them. I could definitely see them doing it. It's just the WWE doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah. I just want the Legion of Doom like back under a Legends deal. I think they deserve it. Same thing with Demolition.
Yeah, I mean it'd be cool to see some merch and stuff.
Oh, all right. A little sidetrack there. Side quest. So we had Jarrett and MJF, their promo with that. We had Hook take on Chris Jericho. Not Chris Jericho. Christian Cage.
Christian Cage, yeah.
Which was a decent match. We had the return of Samoa Joe. Came out.
Yeah, the only thing with that is the camera people like suck at AEW. Like
the only thing they're good at is getting women's asses.
It was like because like I guess they're getting ready to take out Hook and then like Taz stands up like he's gonna like get in the ring or whatever. And the camera's kind of focused on Taz, and they kind of miss the initial like Samoa Joe coming. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just like a bad. It's like I don't know. Like they forgot Samoa Joe was supposed to interrupt or something. I don't know.
Like even that point, they should have. Oh, excuse me. Like they should have had like a wide shot of the crowd ready to get some of the crowd reaction when Joe's music hit, even though it wasn't that big of a crowd to begin with. I will say I did like the venue that they used. That was that theater in Detroit that they switched to.
Yeah,
I thought it was a nice small venue. I thought it was pretty solid. So the acoustics were pretty good in there. The crowd seemed like it was louder in that smaller venue.
The crowd didn't seem like they were into it at all.
Probably. Like
the whole show.
Like when when they cheered for Joe coming back and
yeah, they did cheer for that. Yeah,
it sounded pretty good, but yeah. So Samoa Joe returned. Toni Storm wins the casino gauntlet. She'll take on Mariah May at the next pay-per-view. I think it was at Revolution. Mariah May
is she
great.
I thought it was at the Australia thing.
Oh yeah, it was the Australian pay-per-view. Yep. Which one is that? Is that Revolution? I don't know which one that is. I don't know their pay-per-views.
Okay.
So, but yeah, she's the number one contender against Mariah May. We saw the debut, or I guess re-debut. I guess she wrestled. She'd been in AEW prior. Megan Bain.
Yeah,
that chick was massive and throwing people around. She, I believe she is signed with AEW now, so congrats to her. I'm looking forward to seeing more out of her, especially her and Statlander. They put on a solid performance the few times that they're in the ring by themselves. So hopefully we see a little more out of that. I was pulling for Willow to win. love me some Willow, but I'm good with Tony Storm going against Mariah May, especially with this new amnesia type thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Main event, we saw Jon Moxley retain or Powerhouse Hobbs, which was a no-brainer on that one. Like, honestly, didn't think they were going to give Hobbs the title. It was refreshing to see someone new in the title picture, or at least getting a title match. I do like Powerhouse Hobbs. I've liked him since his debut in AEW, like when he was part of Team Taz and stuff. So I thought he was pretty awesome. Still think he's pretty awesome. But he got beat down at the end of the match, obviously. Then rated FTR came out to try to make the save. Well, they did make the save and chased off the Death Riders.
Cope.
What was that?
I said Cope.
Cope?
Cope. Cope came out. We go Cope.
Oh, but that was
That's so goofy.
yeah.
Cope. Oh god, I like Adam Copeland a lot better than Cope. It's Cope.
Yeah.
Kenny Cope.
He could have just went back to Sexton Hardcastle.
He should have just came out like it's like no name, and then it's like just like you think you know me or whatever. You think
Yeah. Or like Edgeland or something.
You think you know me?
Or Adam Edge.
Come out as like, don't push me because I'm close to the.
I'm 6 feet from the
razors.
Oh, awesome stuff. That's pretty much all I got for instant replay this week. Let's kick it on over to the Elite Figure of the Week. Of course, is brought to you by EntertainmentEarth.com. Go ahead and use the code FTCollects on your next in-stock purchase and save 10%. All right. Elite Figure of the Week this week is the new Greatest Hits Mattel Undashing Cody Rhodes. So I happened to pick this up at McKay's down in Mebane for the awesome price of $9.95.
$9.95.
And I saw this. Where I see this at Target. And it's $22.99. So I was like, I have the first version of this figure already. So I don't really need to buy, the re-release of this. But for $10, I'm not going to pass it up. I will say that they did improve quite a bit on this, and that's pretty much what they do with these Greatest Hits Elites. It's got an updated face scan. The jacket actually has the red and like the red design on there that he had on the jacket and that gimmick.
Yeah.
So that was like one big, huge improvement on there. Of course, interchangeable hands, double jointed elbows, all that fun stuff. And he does come with the paper bag that he used to put on people's faces while they were sitting in the crowd, which was one of my favorite parts of that initial figure. I guess my some of my crowd members in my arena setup are going to get some paper bags over their heads.
Cool.
Oh, fucking shit. There we go.
Because Chris was a friend of Cody before Cody was cool.
So there we go. Got the nice face scan of the Undashing one. He does come with the face mask too, which I forgot to grab that. As I took everything else out of here and put it on the floor. Of course, that was the big part of the gimmick. Got his nose broken and came back like scarred and disfigured.
Yeah.
I was a fan of the undashing gimmick. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was good. That's why I said it was like, Cody before Cody was cool.
Yeah. That mask does not fit over his face as well as the previous one did. It should go over his nose. But it's not going over his nose. Yeah, worry about it later. Fix it later. So there he is, that protective face mask. Like I said, the jacket has that red design on there that wasn't on the previous one. It was just a straight black jacket. So some upgrades on that. So it's pretty cool. Well, other than that, it's the same exact ring attire, all that stuff. So pretty solid. Nice score for $10.
Something to put up beside your American Nightmare and your Stardust.
And it's funny because I do have I've got the Intercontinental Champion Cody from when he lost that match at WrestleMania, the Intercontinental title. So I do have that figure, and it's actually next to the Stardust figure. It's next to a Goldust figure. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. There we go.
I used to have a Goldust figure back in the day with like a Marlena.
Oh yeah. The Bone Crunchers. Nice. All right, so that is the elite figure of the week. Let's hop over to the Fatal 4-Way. If you're not familiar with this segment, it's pretty much pick 4 people at random. Usually has like some kind of theme to it, and then we eliminate one from that perspective, that potential wrestling history. And this week's Fatal 4-Way, Intercontinental Champions, which these all came off a list of some of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. Of course, we have Gunther, who is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, beating out the former longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, the Honky Tonk Man. We got Mr. Perfect and Chris Jericho, whose Intercontinental title reign, collective Intercontinental title reigns, is getting erased from WWE history.
That's a weird picture to have of Chris Jericho. Like his Intercontinental reigns before that one.
Yeah, that's one of the few that actually looks decent with the Intercontinental title.
I guess. Cause I think of him more with like the old like Attitude Era Intercontinental title.
Yeah, long hair and the goatee and stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Out of all these people, Mr. Perfect is probably the best Intercontinental Champion. Out of all of them, enjoyed his reign with the belt. Enjoyed his work as a heel. You know, one of those things where I'm not sure why he never got to push the title. But that's neither here nor there.
Because Hulk Hogan said, "That doesn't work for me, brother."
Yeah. Second best Intercontinental Champion on this list is my boy Gunther. Longest reign. Had a bunch of really good matches. Lost his title in an amazing way, at a WrestleMania. Was it WrestleMania or SummerSlam? Can't remember. WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, WrestleMania, that's Sami Zayn. Next, I would say it's probably Chris Jericho. Not this run as Intercontinental Champion, but he had I'll say a couple runs, right, as Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
And
I think he's like, isn't he
what's
like a
the one?
9-time Intercontinental Champion or something?
Yeah, he's won. Yeah, he's won quite a bit. Honky Tonk Man. For me, I don't know. He never was good, really. As far as like a wrestler goes, for me personally. Um, and by the time I was little and was watching wrestling, like I saw him on there, I'm like, this guy's trying to be Elvis, but I really didn't know Elvis that much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. To me, the gimmick was like a little too old for the time. He's probably like somebody that's never changed his gimmick like he uh didn't like wasn't Greg the Hammer Valentine like supposed to be like his uh uh like in the group with him or something?
They
Rhythm and
were
Blues
a
or
tag
something
team, Rhythm and Blues.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really like Greg the Hammer Valentine. He's
They had him
like
dye
a
his hair
very
black.
yeah. He's a very underrated wrestler, but even when he got his hair black, I was like, what is this shit? So I'm about to delete the Honky Tonk Man. I'm just not a fan of the Honky Tonk Man. Um, I don't know what you say, Chris.
I agree. I honestly cannot name a good Honky Tonk Man match. Or remember a good one, at least from the time that I was watching wrestling. Even
He
going
got
back,
beat by the Ultimate Warrior.
that's pretty much it. Like he had the longest reign as Intercontinental Champion, that, until Gunther beat it. And that's, a history that's going to be in the history books. Like he's the second longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. So until someone comes along and, beats his record again. But I just do not recall a good Honky Tonk Man match. Whereas I can, go back and, look at stuff with Mr. Perfect and Chris Jericho and Gunther. Like, how many times did Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy feud over the Intercontinental title? All that stuff, Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero and all that, and Gunther and, his matches with that title. I can't do the same with the Honky Tonk Man. That's just how it is. So, sorry, Honky Tonk Man, but we have spoken, and your Intercontinental Championship reign has been deleted from wrestling history.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I guess they hit people with guitars. That was
Yeah, that was pretty
cool.
much no, wrong button. All right. Awesome stuff. World's Barred, which of course is brought to you by a Redbubble store, redbubble.com/people. Check it out. Order some shirts and stuff and stickers and all that other fun stuff. Oh, all right. Let's get into it. So what do you think is going to happen Sunday morning? TikTok gone?
I mean, the bill to extend the deadline thing failed, so yeah, it's probably gonna be gone.
Yeah,
I know Elon Musk is trying to buy it right now, but I don't think they're gonna sell.
No, I don't think they're going to sell it because the biggest thing that they want with the sale of that app is the app's algorithm, and
Yeah.
like they can't sell the algorithm. That's I don't know, there's something up with like legal or something that they
Yeah.
can't do that.
And it's pretty popular worldwide. So I mean, they're only losing like half their market. So
Yep. My biggest thing with this, like there are 170 million people in the U.S. that use TikTok, and I don't know the exact numbers, but probably half of them actually make a living off of using TikTok, like getting paid as influencers and stuff like that. Those people are essentially now out of work come Sunday, and not. I guess they've had time to find another job. I mean, because this was something that Trump had put into effect when he was in office the first time, was going after TikTok and trying to ban it because they were saying mean things about him. But now he's changed his tune on that and wants to save TikTok because he's trying to
he don't
make
want to
himself
save
like
it. He's just trying to force the sale.
yeah. So like I don't know, like, and the biggest thing about this is you have the senator, was it Todd Cotton or whatever the hell his name is, has a book about China coming out. It's something like things you can't do in China or something. Like that's his whole argument with this, is that it's owned by a Chinese company, but only 20% of TikTok is owned by ByteDance. The rest of it is owned by other investors, and the majority of them are in the U.S.
Yeah. It this boils down to money.
That's what it
If you
is.
look at everybody that voted against TikTok, they all own stock in Meta.
Yep.
And it's both sides of the aisle,
Oh yeah.
Democrats and Republicans. And it's one of those things where, we can't agree on shit that matters, but if it's something that makes them personally money, they're all for it. And it's just weird that they're worried about TikTok for national security, but not Temu or any other of the Chinese apps.
Or Meta selling our information and tracking every website and everything that we go to.
Yeah, I mean, Meta sold our data to China, so what's up with that? But uh, it's all good. This is one of those things where, if you want stuff like this to stop, just, vote opposite of,
I
who
do
voted
I do
against
think
them.
it's funny that they're pushing the whole like communist China agenda, and then TikTok users are like, oh hey, we just found this other app called Red Note, which is actually a Chinese owned app. We're gonna go over there. We're just gonna willingly give them our information. We don't care.
Yeah.
It became like the second most downloaded app on the Apple and Google Play stores within 24 hours.
Yeah.
But the harsh reality is all the propaganda we get fed about communist China, and people over there are living much better than we are here. As far as food costs, and 95% of China's population owns their own home. Their homeless percentage is less than 1%. So, yeah. Priorities. Ban an app. But anywho, I just figured we'd touch on that a little bit because it's like the hot button in the news right now. I know we talked about it before when they initially started the idea of a ban and all that. So, so lame.
Yeah.
Oh, what else we got? We got the Captain America Brave New World's coming out soon. So February. Just finished watching. They just put up the last episode on Disney Plus, the Star Wars Skeleton Crew series. freaking
You like
awesome.
it?
It was great. Such a great show. It's like
Yeah.
Goonies, but set in Star Wars.
Okay. I might have to try it. It's just the last couple of Star. I know I get a lot of hate for it, but the last couple of Star Wars series on Disney I watched, I didn't like.
I liked The Acolyte. I know that one didn't do very well. A lot of people hated it. I thought it was an interesting story. They could have executed it a little better, but I think overall it wasn't like super bad. But Skeleton Crew definitely redeemed the Disney Plus Star Wars like
Yeah, I just
side series quite a bit.
I couldn't get into the Mandalorian, um, or the Boba Fett one, whatever that one was called.
Okay.
Um,
I like the Mandalorian. Book of Boba Fett. A lot of people didn't like the Book of Boba Fett either, but I liked it. I just like Boba Fett. But
yeah, I
Skeleton
just couldn't
Crew
get into it.
it's set in that same time frame of Mandalorian and Boba Fett and all that. So
Yeah,
set in the same.
I like the Force Awakens, and it was good. Um, the other two are okay. I really like Rogue One. It was really good.
Rogue One was
It's
great.
just
I think
stick to
that's one of
the
the
original trilogy.
I think that's one of the better non-Skywalker saga stories, I guess.
Yeah,
And like the Darth Vader scene at the end was pretty badass.
yeah, that was pretty good.
It just like comes in like fuck you. It's awesome. Oh, so a lot of good stuff. Trying to think of anything else.
We got
The
NFL playoffs.
NFL playoffs. Yep.
Yeah,
I
no
think
Chris excited for that.
I'm completely lost on all that. So
That's why it's gonna be cold coming up because you have the Detroit Lions versus the Washington Commanders in the playoffs. So hell's freezing over.
so that's what we got lined up for this week. So you got the Texans versus the Chiefs tomorrow. Commanders and Lions. Sunday you got the Rams and the Eagles, and then Sunday night the Ravens and the Bills, which I guess is a lot of the chatter I've seen pop up on like some of my timelines and stuff is that the Ravens and Bills seems to be a pretty anticipated game.
Yeah, it is. It is. Um, the Lions should beat the Commanders. Kansas City should beat Houston. Uh, the Ravens and the Bills is probably up for grabs.
I don't know, like if you have a team named the Commanders, like how did you get this far?
Well, they used to be the Redskins, but they changed their name
Oh, that's right. Ugh.
to the
They
football
couldn't come up,
team, and then
they couldn't come up with something better than the Commanders.
um, I guess not. To me, they was like the Washington. I preferred the Washington football team because they like after they dropped the Redskins, they became the Washington football team, uh, and then they switched it to the Commanders.
Was there a I don't know. I just don't. It's kind of lame. Like, they can't have a cool name like Seattle's hockey team, like the Seattle Krakens. Like, come on.
I mean, it's like I don't know who comes up with it.
I was like, even worse, the Wizards. Well, the Wizards isn't bad.
The Wizards.
Yeah, that's better
Washington
than
Wizards.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they used to be. They did have the coolest name, but they changed it because they used to be the Washington Bullets, the basketball team, where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
the Wizards. But people didn't like bullets. So.
Can't have bullets anywhere near anything.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. I know there's other stuff going on, but there's just like, a lot of it's depressing stuff.
Yeah. Kind of think if I saw like any movies or anything. Smart something they're supposed to be coming out with another Karate Kid.
Yes, they just dropped a trailer for it. I think like a month ago. It's
Okay.
got Ralph Macchio is returning and Jackie Chan. And I guess they got there's a new kid that they're trying to train or whatever. So no Jaden Smith unless he's got some kind of cameo, but he's not the focal of the movie. So.
Yeah, that Karate Kid
like,
kind of
Karate Kid Legends, I think it is, or Legacy or something like that. So. Actually, just came across this list here. It is 10 classic 80s cartoons that deserve a reboot. On this list, a reboot.
I don't like reboots, so none of them deserve a reboot.
None of them should have a reboot. Garfield and Friends.
Can't do it. They did a movie.
Garfield had a cartoon and stuff, but
they did a movie, but the little chickens were like the funniest part of that cartoon. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the barnyard.
Yeah,
the barnyard stuff. Yeah, Sheldon, the one that's inside the egg. I can't remember what the other one's name was. I just remember Sheldon. U.S. Acres characters. I like Garfield and Friends. I thought it was a good cartoon. I like Garfield anyway. The movie wasn't bad.
Yeah, I like. I used to read it in, back when you used to get newspapers and they had comics in them. Like Garfield.
Yeah, I don't think Garfield has the popularity to maintain a cartoon like it used to.
No, if you did a reboot of Garfield, it would be adults watching it, and yeah. Like I said, they haven't done a good reboot in forever, so I'm not for any reboot. But
this one I think could do pretty good. The Mario Brothers, especially
the cartoons.
Yeah, if they brought back Mario Brothers as a cartoon. I know it won't be the same with I know that. You could go off the popularity of the movie and like continue the cartoon. I mean, it won't be the same without Captain Lou Albano, but yeah.
I think if they're gonna redo remakes live action Mario from the early 90s.
The movie or the series?
Yeah, the movie. The movie.
I love that movie.
I
don't care. So, I don't care what anybody says. That's one of my favorite movies. It's so bad, it was good. Like you hear like the stories of like John Leguizamo talking about that and like how they're just constantly drunk doing that movie because there's no damn direction on the set at all. So him and Bob Hoskins just were drunk the entire time.
And if I didn't know what the fuck was going on, I think nobody did.
They did Elvin. What's up?
I was like, what the fuck is this? You said Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Yeah, they did. Alvin and the Chipmunks is on here though, but they did a reboot of that.
Yeah, they had a TV show, didn't they?
Yeah, and it really wasn't that good. No, I don't
Yeah.
really see
And
them.
Alvin and Chipmunks can't exist without like the old music.
Yeah.
So it don't really.
Here's one
That
for
really
you.
makes sense.
Snorks.
Huh?
The Snorks.
The Snorks.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know how that one's gonna work.
yeah. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. That was like one of those like early, because you gotta remember I'm a little younger than you, not by much, but to me that like by the time that was like a early morning cartoon.
Yeah, I don't see that one happening. They tried to do a reboot of Thundercats. They did it twice actually. There's one from that ran for a couple seasons, 2011 and 2012. And then they did one in 2020 called Thundercats Roar, which sucked because it was like they tried to make it Teen Titans Go, but Thundercats.
Mm-hmm.
There's always talk of a Thundercats movie. Silverhawks was like an offshoot of Thundercats. A lot of it was the same voice actors. That one I could probably get behind, depending on how they do it. It'll be pretty good. There actually is a new Beetlejuice cartoon coming out next year, or this year, actually, on Max. So, yeah, don't need a reboot for that one because there already is one. I've had numerous Transformers movies or cartoons, so, yeah.
I had them up there.
Yeah. Then Masters of the Universe, they announced some of the casting for that. They're doing a Amazon movie for that one, and what's his face? Jared Leto was casted as Skeletor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I hope it's not as bad as his Joker. This one's slated for 2026 release. Idris Elba is casted as Man at Arms. Jared Leto Skeletor. Nicholas Galtazine is He-Man. We'll see. Wait for a trailer. I think they just remaster the 80s He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren and Courtney Cox. Awesome. Well, that's all I got. I got anything else?
I guess yeah. They need to reboot Johnny Bravo or something.
You see the guy on TikTok that's been doing Johnny Bravo?
Mm-mm.
It's so freaking funny. Like, he's this like big, like jack dude, and it's funny. He's like this big black dude. He's got like the blonde Johnny Bravo thing. And he's dressed as Johnny Bravo with sunglasses, and he's just walking around like with his arms out, and he just walks up to random people and does like Johnny Bravo shit. Like he walked up, so he's like, "Do the monkey with me," and they all start.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Oh, great stuff. One cartoon they need to bring back is SWAT Cats.
Are they rebooting or I thought is Street Sharks getting a cartoon or something?
I don't think so. I think it's like a 30th anniversary or something, or 25th anniversary for
They're
it.
just re-releasing the toys or something.
Yeah, they started re-releasing the original toys. Mattel did.
I got you.
Yeah, I wasn't like I watched Street Sharks like the cartoon, but I wasn't really into like the toys at that time. I think I was a little older anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't think I had the toys.
Like that, so.
Yeah. Another like cartoon that's kind of low key, kind of good that was based off of a movie, but not really. Was remember the Mighty Ducks with like the ducks?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon.
That was. I went through. I started rewatching it on Disney Plus. I haven't gotten like all the way through it yet, but I remember. I think it was Burger King. Their kids meals
Had the toys.
had Mighty Ducks toys, and they're like little hockey pucks, and they had like the characters sitting on top of them. You could roll them across the table into each other.
Yeah. Those are cool. I had like 2 or 3 of them. Of the hockey pucks.
Yeah, those are awesome.
That's like one thing that sucks nowadays is like they don't have like any like good like creative like toys anymore, like in the Happy Meals or the
Nope.
whatever fucking Burger King calls it, I guess kids meals.
Yeah, nothing cool anymore. Like I remember like McDonald's had like the little transformer, like the Big Mac that transformed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they had like
Tell you another one.
Dinosaurs.
Another one I had that was cool. Remember the Bobby's World
Yes.
toy from McDonald's?
Yep.
With the little like thing that goes over the thing for like the imagination.
Yeah.
Makes it into something else. Yeah.
Oh man, Bobby's World's awesome. They should bring that back.
Call up Power Man Dave, like, hey dude.
Hey Bobo. The generic family. It's generic. Oh, Bobby's World is such an awesome cartoon. I think that's on Prime.
Okay.
Remember correctly. Yeah, that was a great cartoon. Then they had the Muppet Babies toys that had like the different like Gonzo had like a big wheel and Kermit had a rocking horse.
Yeah, I had those. The Transformer food things are pretty cool too. Like the little,
I love those.
Like
those are awesome. I think those are probably like one of the more popular ones now because I see them. Like I'll search for them on like eBay or something. They've always got a pretty high price on them.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Then the Rescue Rangers toys that had the different pieces you could pop onto them to make like the helicopters and all that with them.
Yeah. Dude, if I could have one thing back from my childhood from McDonald's would be those fucking Batman Forever glasses.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Oh, I had that entire
You know how much fucking Kool-Aid I drink out of that shit?
Yes. I had that whole set. And I don't know, my parents don't remember where they disappeared to.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
With a damn yard sale.
Yeah, mine probably got like busted moving or something. But yeah, I had the same thing too. I ate a bunch of quarter pounders for those motherfuckers too. They had like some freezer pops too. I think that was for Batman and Robin, or like in between Forever and Batman and Robin. There was like a mold that you poured like Kool-Aid in and then put it in the freezer. It was like a popsicle mold that had those too.
Oh, that's not too bad. You can get they have a full set on eBay for $51.
Yeah, that's above my price range for paying for stuff.
Yeah. Probably end up finding them at the freaking flea market too. A lot of people just like roll up there and don't really pay attention to what they got.
Sometimes, yeah. Or going like some other person's house that still has those glasses like in their cabinet. I'm like, hey, those are like I remember like my granny's she used to have like remember Welch's uh jelly used to come in like the glass jars like with different
Yep.
like cartoon
The different cartoon
characters.
characters on them. Yep.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of those too. Use them as
Yeah,
drinking
those
glasses.
are
Awesome stuff. That was
yeah.
when I went home for Christmas, our the one of the fire departments always sets up like a Christmas display. And they like upgraded it obviously since I've been there. So they have like these different like little tiny sheds, like little tiny houses that they have set up with different themes inside of them. One of them was a toy store type setting, and they had all these old like Happy Meal toys and stuff in there. They had like a Ronald McDonald from the 70s. That was a Happy Meal toy.
That's pretty cool.
But the thing that stuck out to me the most was they had the Pizza Hut hand puppets from like the Land Before Time and Eureka's Castle.
Yeah, those are.
God. They had those in there. They had the Christmas Muppet Babies plushes from McDonald's. So like Fozzie Bear, Miss Piggy, Kermit. It's like Jesus, man. Unfortunately, I was not allowed to go back there because I probably would have broke into that shed and sold half of it.
Yeah.
And like they were in all good condition too. Like they were clean. Like the paint was crisp on them. It's like, where the hell did y'all find this stuff at?
Yeah. Did you have the Hercules plates? Those are like another McDonald's thing, like from the cartoon movie Hercules.
No, I didn't have anything from that.
Or the was it Taco Bell or Pizza Hut that had collector cups for Batman? I'll say it was Taco Bell? Then Taco Bell, the Batman and Robin movie, they had like the cups. Had like poison ivy.
I think so.
Yeah. And they had like some NASCAR ones too at one point. But that was like growing up, it's like I mean we had like a maybe like a original set of like glasses that were like those like thick glasses, but like most of our cups are like reused fucking like Taco Bell cups or souvenir cups from like fucking games and
Taco Bell
glass
had
jars.
the Robin ones.
Yeah.
Get a full set for $40.
Somebody had some Jurassic Park ones too, I think. Remember those? But yeah, man.
I don't have those ones.
Yeah,
I remember those.
It's like nobody does cool shit anymore.
Nope. And when they do, people have to ruin it for everybody else.
Oh yeah, like the Grimace stuff and all that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. My one of my good friends, she's been looking forever, and I've been trying to find it too. Pizza Hut had the Care Bears glasses. She's got
I don't think I had
all of them but Good Luck Bear, and I cannot like Good Luck Bear is like the most expensive one out of all of them.
I may have had those and I thought they were like those Welch's jars. I used to love Care Bears when I was little.
I've been trying to every time I go to a yard sale or a flea market or something like that Good Luck Bear cup is always one that I'm looking for. $75 on eBay for that Good Luck Bear glass.
I remember I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it came from like a thing, but I remember my granny had like a Tweety Bird cup like a Tweebird's head,
Yeah.
and like a Bugs Bunny head or Taz or something. It was something. It was like some mugs or something. I don't know if they came from Six Flags.
Yeah, they had one in that's one that Chevy Chase had in Christmas Vacation. He was drinking out of that Taz mug when the executives were walking by, and he's like, "Kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your own ass."
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for us for this week.
Yeah, man, talking about cups. Come join us next week for another great episode
podcast. Mug again. That's what we do. Talk about wrestling anymore. Nobody cares about that. Let's talk about novelty cups and mugs.
It's like I swear to God, the soda tastes better out of those red glasses that you used to get at like Shoney's and Pizza Hut. Like they had the red glasses.
Those red plastic glasses.
Yeah.
Red
like this Fountain Coke and one of those things. Like this tasted better for some reason.
The food tasted better at Taco Bell when it was like that 90s theme inside the restaurant.
Yeah.
Bright ass colors and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, awesome stuff. All right, that's gonna do it for us this week, guys. We appreciate you all checking us out. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. If the TikTok ban does go as planned, unfortunately, YouTube is probably going to be the best place to find us at, and Facebook for live episodes of the podcast and clips and stuff like that. Instagram, probably be some stuff up there, but I don't think anybody really pays attention to Instagram. We do have an X account. We don't really use X. I don't like posting on X because people are assholes on X. But yeah, we'll see where we end up, and any future social media accounts that we end up having, we'll let you know. You can follow us there. But yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment, review, all that fun stuff, and we will chat with you guys next week. Later, Martins.
Hey, 90s Taco Bell or the doo-doo brown one? Before 90s.
90s.